Hello and welcome to another edition of Focus on Morris County. I'm Joe Garifo, Public Information Director for the Morris County Government. Focus on Morris County is a program that is designed to keep us up to date on the actions that are being taken by the Morris County Board of Freeholders. And the show is also intended to make us all more aware of the many facets of Morris County government. On this segment of the program, we are going to learn about the Morris County Mosquito Commission from my guest. He is Chris McMorland. Chris is the superintendent of the Morris County Mosquito Commission. He and his staff work year-round, really, to control those pests. Chris, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Joe.
Give us a brief overview, if you will, Chris, of the Morris County Mosquito Commission and its basic mission.
Sure. The Morris County Mosquito Commission, like its title says, is we're there to control mosquitoes, and we do this in a comprehensive integrated mosquito management, or an integrated pest management, as most people know by. Meaning that we do this in multi ways, using water management, using biocontrol, using education, using insecticides, which is always part of a mosquito control program. And we do this basically because of the mosquitoes' ability to create a nuisance. There are certain people that would not be able to even use their yard if we were not around. And most importantly is the disease aspect of it, especially West Nile virus has been in the news for at least the last 10 years, and it's here to stay, and it'll be here every year. And that's what our primary goal is.
Now, and we'll get to some of those areas that you mentioned in just a couple of seconds, but do all counties have mosquito commissions here in New Jersey?
All counties have some form of mosquito control. Not all counties have mosquito commissions. The difference being that if you have a mosquito commission, they concentrate on mosquito control year-round, and that's what their primary job is. Other counties do have mosquito control for majority of the year, but sometimes it's whether it's a public works division or it could be part of a local health or countywide health department. They might have other tasks that they're responsible for.
Is there a season, so to speak, for mosquitoes? I mean, most people think of it in, I don't know, maybe like July and August, but is there a mosquito season?
Absolutely. The mosquito season is actually a lot longer than most people think. In fact, this being the end of March right now is technically the beginning of the mosquito season. Despite what the weather looks like outside being snowy, there is a lot of larvae sitting in standing water right now just waiting. Their development's very retarded at the time and slowed down quite a bit, so we have a little time on it. But it usually goes from the end of March all the way to, depending on how the season goes, it could be all the way up to Halloween, the end of October. And I've actually seen it dribble into November, but traditionally, by the time you hit mid-October, you're in good shape.
That's when the numbers dwindle to?
Yes.
Okay.
What we actually like to see is a couple of good frosts,
okay, and
that usually puts the end of the season. So again, that's very random, but generally the end of March to sometime mid-October.
Now, you mentioned that one of the commission's functions is water management. Explain what water management is and why that's important to controlling mosquitoes.
Water management is when you physically alter habitats in order to allow surface water to drain away faster, thus eliminating mosquito habitats. It's also a way to introduce natural predators into mosquito habitats so that they can actually just control mosquitoes without us even being around and doing anything. The nice thing about water management is it can be a year-round project. Short of in the middle of the dead of winter when it's very icy out and there's nothing you can do, this program can go basically year-round. And once you perform water management, the theory is you really don't have to worry about it anymore as a mosquito problem, thus allowing inspections and other staff members to concentrate on other areas that do need our attention.
So you, then, would go to streams and rivers and ponds and clear away debris so that the water flows more freely? Is that?
That's exactly. With ditches and streams, it's making sure that they're flowing nicely. With ditch work, it's trying to remove any obstructions so that when we do have rain events, the water has a place to go in a timely fashion. It doesn't stick around.
Yeah.
It's the same thing would be with tree removal in certain rivers and stuff when we have the ability to do that. And with ponds, I mean, they do get silted in. They just don't hold the capacity that they used to. So the water's going somewhere, and it's probably up on the land. And So we'll work on trying to dredge some ponds and small basins. Another big effort that we're pushing is stormwater facilities. They seem to be all over the place, and given time, and if they're not maintained correctly, they become a very large problem. They tend to be right in the middle where people live. So we try to do a lot of work on basin restoration and making sure that they're clean and functioning properly too.
Yeah. You mentioned introducing natural predators. What are they?
Natural predators, we work in conjunction with the State Office of Mosquito Control Coordination, who runs a fish program. And what we'll do is we will utilize certain species of fish. The most common one that everybody knows about is the Gambusia affinis, or the mosquito-eating fish. But we will also use freshwater killies, fathead minnows, and some native species too. And when you introduce these fish into certain mosquito habitats, and again, they have a whole series of protocol that you need to follow so that you don't create feral populations, especially of the Gambusia, because being a non-native. But once you introduce these species, they tend to kind of take care of themselves, and they take care of the mosquito problem for you. We've actually been utilizing them a little bit, and one of the areas we're finding some problems is a lot of foreclosures with swimming pools. People have just nobody there to maintain them or take care of them.
Yeah.
If you put a couple of those in there, they usually take care of the problem for you. And they're a nice tool to use.
And it's a great natural way to take care of the problem.
That's it, exactly. They're a great natural way.
Now, what is the Mosquito Commission's philosophy when it comes to spraying to control mosquitoes?
Well, spraying to control mosquitoes, there's two types of pesticide applications that we'll do. One is larval, and the second one is adult. Our primary is always to try to do larval control as much as possible. It's two reasons. One, the product that we use for the most part is BTI. It's a biorational soil bacteria on a corn cob granule that the mosquito larvae ingest. By treating the mosquito in the larval stage, they're usually they are confined to whatever kind of aquatic environment that you find them in, meaning that you'll get a bigger bang for your buck when you're trying to treat them. When all else fails and the adults do emerge, because again, Morris County being the size that it is, we will miss spots, and during the summertime you only have a week from egg to adult, so it's rather difficult to get to every single spot that we know of. There will be adults flying around, and depending upon the numbers that we get, we'll go in there and treat them as possible. We do this through either truck mounted. A lot of times people might see us on ATVs, and we'll take the sprayers into the woods and try to keep the mosquitoes from coming into the neighborhoods. And that seems to work out great, and it's actually reduced our time of having to do any kind of townwide control or anything of that nature. Now, what we also do is when we have presence of West Nile virus, we do adult mosquito control, generally by truck and ATV also.
And I should mention here too that in just a couple of minutes we're going to give you the Mosquito Commission's website, because on that website it's very active during the mosquito season, and you will find out information if, for example, spraying will be occurring in your neighborhood. Now, Chris, you mentioned swimming pool covers. What can a homeowner, if anything, do to help you in your effort to control the mosquitoes?
Homeowners can be a great help. If homeowners had the ability to police their own yards, and basically what you'd be looking for is containers. It could be the kiddie pool, it could be the boat in the corner, or the canoe that hasn't been used in a while, tires, tire swing, anything that can hold water. If the homeowner has the ability to go through and actually drain that for us, that would be fantastic. The reason being is you're probably helping yourself more than anything, because the majority of the mosquitoes that are going to utilize that habitat will not travel more than 1,000 feet from where they were hatched. So you're probably hurting yourself and maybe your direct neighbor. But by homeowners doing those types of things, it allows us at the Mosquito Commission to concentrate on the larger areas that we need to get into without going to every single person. Plus, by doing that, you're also, believe it or not, you're actually helping stymie any kind of invasive mosquitoes coming in by not giving them any habitat to attach themselves to. Because once you get, there's certain species that have recently arrived in Morris County. Once you get them, they're actually rather difficult to get rid of, and they are rather aggressive. One being the Asian tiger mosquito, which has a very slow progression going through the county, but we have discovered it, and it's moving its way through.
And mosquitoes do not need that much water to breed, is that true?
No, mosquitoes do not need that much water. In fact, I actually, some colleagues of mine once found mosquitoes breeding in a bottle cap. So when you police your yard, you really need to take a look around and see what you got.
So containers, you make sure the gutters are cleaned?
Gutters cleaned, yep. If you have small trees growing under your gutter, chances are you might have mosquitoes breeding up there, which is a problem. But another big thing I would like to mention too is a lot of people are getting rain barrels, which are fantastic. But please just mosquito-proof them, whether it's using screening on the top or draining it frequently, just something along those lines. And a little prevention will go a long way.
Chris, I mentioned just a couple of seconds ago the website that the Mosquito Commission uses to update citizens on your activities. What is that web address? Give us some contact information.
That would be www.morrismosquito.org. And please keep an eye on it. We're actually going to be upgrading our webpage, so it'll look different, but it'll still have this good same basic information. And again, as you stated, if you want to be kept abreast as to where we're going to be doing adult mosquito control activities, please check the webpage. It's updated all the time, especially during the summertime. It's very busy.
Okay. Chris McMorland, I want to thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you very much.
Now, if you have a question about county government that you would like to have answered, you can call the Morris County Freeholders Office. And that telephone number is 973-285-6010. You may also visit the county government's website at morriscountynj.gov. And when you're there, please sign up for Morris Connections. That's our electronic newsletter. You can also become a county government Facebook fan. You can follow us on Twitter. You can view this and other county videos on YouTube. And take a look at some of our documents that are on Scribd. And you can check out some county photos from various events on Flickr. I'm Joe Garifo. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Are you pregnant, scared, or a new mother who can't care for your newborn?
There's a safe haven in New Jersey.
You or a friend can bring an infant to any hospital or police station and give up custody safely, legally, and anonymously.
No questions asked. No shame, no blame, no names.
Call 1-877-839-2339 or visit njsafehaven.org to learn more. Remember,
New Jersey has a safe haven for unwanted infants.
Brought to you by the New Jersey Department of Children and Families.
¿Estás embarazada, asustada o una madre que no puede cuidar a tu recién nacido?
Hay un refugio seguro en New Jersey.
Puedes entregar a tu bebé en cualquier sala de emergencia de hospital o estación de policía, de manera segura, legal y anónima.
Sin preguntas, sin nombres, sin culpa.
Llame al 877-839-2339 o visítenos al njsafehaven.org. Recuerde,
New Jersey tiene un refugio seguro para bebés no deseados.
Patrocinado por el Departamento de Niños y Familias de New Jersey.
Welcome back to Focus on Morris County. I'm Joe Garifo, and on this segment of the program, we are going to learn about Project Lifesaver. Project Lifesaver, a program that here in Morris County is administered by the Morris County Sheriff's Office. And here to tell us about Project Lifesaver is my guest. She is Morris County Sheriff's Officer Tracy Medwin. Tracy,
Yes.
welcome to the program.
Thank you.
for
Thank you.
being here. What exactly is Project Lifesaver?
Project Lifesaver was a program designed to track loved ones using a radio frequency when they wander away from their residence or wherever they're, situated.
Specifically, who would the program be geared toward when you talk about residents who wander? What would be a typical candidate to participate in Project Lifesaver?
Alzheimer's, dementia type patients, as well as children who suffer from autism, Down syndrome, traumatic brain injuries, cognitive impairments. They are all candidates for the Project Lifesaver program. Anybody who has any kind of wandering type disorder.
Okay. Now, where did the idea for Project Lifesaver come from?
Sheriff Newhart in Virginia had the idea for the program, and he had given the idea to a gentleman named Chief Gene Saunders. In the in the thought that if you can find animals using the similar type program, then why can't you find people? So Chief Gene Saunders, actually, of the 43rd Search and Rescue in Virginia, implemented the program in April of 1999.
And how did the Morris County Sheriff's Office become involved in Project Lifesaver?
We have a sergeant that works for us, Rob Alpaw, who got a videotape from the Project Lifesaver program, and he in turn showed the videotape to the sheriff, and the rest is history, now 2011.
Do you work with any other agencies in Project Lifesaver? Any other agencies involved in the program with you?
All 21 county agencies, sheriff's offices, have the Project Lifesaver program now in place. So it's throughout the entire state, the whole program.
Okay. Let's talk about specifics. How does Project Lifesaver work? For example, I'm a caregiver, let's say, and perhaps one of my relatives or the person that I'm caring for has a tendency to wander for one reason or another, either because of dementia or because of Alzheimer's. I call Project Lifesaver. What happens after that?
We would send you out an application, a contract, and there's not a lot of criteria to meet for the program other than you just need to be residing in Morris County with a caregiver, a primary caregiver. You fit the criteria as far as a wandering type disorder, and we, within a short amount of time, come up and set you up on the program.
Do you actually go out and do like a case study, or
No.
like to talk to the? Oh, okay.
No,
so it is very simple.
It's very simple. You know what? Let's make you a client instead of.
Okay, we're going to, and this is the equipment
Yes.
that is involved in Project Lifesaver. Okay.
This is the actual bracelet itself.
Okay.
And it's very small. Over the years, they've refined it down to a smaller size. And it would go on a client, either on their wrist. And as simple as 1, 2, 3, you are now a client on the program.
Okay. And it's very soft.
It's
the
completely
material.
waterproof,
Okay.
so clients can bathe with it. They can go shower,
Okay.
swimming.
So now, once the person is wearing the bracelet, and I assume they wear this all the time, what happens should I start to wander? What is the next step?
It's up to the caregiver to search just a brief amount of time. We say no longer than 5 minutes. And if they can't find the client within 5 minutes, they need to follow the procedures that were set out for them during the initial setup, where they call our communication center. And our emergency services guys will go out with equipment to locate the person who has wandered.
Okay, and you brought some of the equipment. How does this work?
It works off a radio frequency. This actually is the receiver for the equipment, and I've programmed it already for that bracelet.
Okay.
So when they go out, they can narrow down where the wanderer has gone by using the radio frequency and the sounds of the tones.
Okay. Now, how important is a timely response for this program to work successfully?
Statistics have told us that after 24 hours, if the wanderer has not been found, it could result in serious injury as well as death. So we have a national average of under 30 minutes for Project Lifesaver clients being found, but in Morris, our time, I think, averages under 12 minutes
Wow.
for being found.
Can you give us some examples of how this has worked successfully since it's been around here in Morris County?
We had an adult resident of I don't know if I give the names of Morris Township, and he had wandered all the way into Morristown. It was pouring rain, it was the middle of the night, and the only thing he had was a book covering his head.
Wow.
To keep him, out of the rain.
Okay.
And he was found in, I think, 7 minutes or so on the program.
Now, you also mentioned that children would be eligible to participate in this program. What would make a child a good candidate for this program?
Any children who have autistic, Down syndrome, traumatic brain injuries, or cognitive impairments are eligible for this program.
Okay. Here in Morris County, how many people actually are participating as we speak in Project Lifesaver?
Currently, right now, we have 88 clients on the program, 45 of being adults, and I believe it was 43 being juveniles.
Okay. The bracelet itself, once the caregiver and the individual who is the participant in Project Lifesaver, once they have this, what do they, I mean, is there anything they need to do, or they train, is there any maintenance or any of any kind?
It's very simple for the caregiver. The only thing they need to do is they just need to check every day. They just need to check the, I don't know if you can see the red light. They
Nope.
just need to check to see if the battery is working on the bracelet.
Okay.
Because we cannot find the bracelet unless the battery is working and emitting the radio frequency.
Okay, so the caregiver then would get the bracelet and this piece of
Yes,
equipment.
a tester.
Okay, so it's almost similar in a way to when you check your smoke detector at home. There's a little button that you press to make sure that the batteries are okay. Kind of like the same concept where you.
Correct.
Okay.
They just need to check it daily to make sure the battery hasn't died. And every 30 days or so, either ourselves or if there's a participating police department, they will go out and change the battery on the bracelet for the
okay.
caregiver.
Okay.
I would say the most important thing for the caregiver
Yeah.
is to keep the bracelet on the client. And we've done everything from, we have one client who believes that he's under house arrest and he keeps the bracelet on. We have another client who believes that this is his pager for work and they can get him at any time. But whatever it takes to keep the bracelet on the client.
Okay. Is it always on the wrist? Can it go on
It
the
could go
ankle?
on the ankle. The client we have that thinks it's a pager, he puts it on his belt. He thinks it's his pager. He never goes anywhere without it.
Now, when the search for the individual takes place, are there specially trained sheriff's officers who participate? Do you work with the local agencies in terms of helping to search for the individual? How does that work once you folks get the call and you arrive on the scene with the equipment?
Project Lifesaver has trained people designated to work with the equipment and the clients to find them. And actually, being in 21 counties now throughout the state, anywhere a client goes in this state, they are now covered. So if we have actually a client who went down to South Jersey on vacation, and during that week they were down in South Jersey, the locals down there were called out to find them.
Okay, so it really is a really great cooperative effort among all of the law enforcement agencies in the state. So what does this cost an individual?
For a Morris County resident, our sheriff, through grants and private donations, has made it free to any residents who qualify for the program.
Okay, and again, in terms of qualifying for the program, you mentioned earlier that the process is very simple. Just do me a favor and go over that process again.
It's as easy as filling out an application with some basic, information on the background of the client. They have to just sign a contract saying that they will be responsible for the bracelet if anything happens. We waive any kind of fees that are involved because of the grants and the private donations. And once they submit everything to us and we just quickly review it, we're out there within a couple of days to set the person up on the program.
Great. Now, what I'm going to do, Tracy, is give our viewers some contact information for Project Lifesaver. Should you either want more information, if you are a caregiver and you think that the person you're caring for might be eligible to participate in the Project Lifesaver program, you can reach out to the Morris County Sheriff's Office at 973-285-6675. That's the Morris County Sheriff's Office, the Support Services program at 973-285-6675. And the application is available on the website,
Yes,
Tracy,
they can
is
go
that
on the
correct?
website.
And that would be www.mcsheriff.org for more information about Project Lifesaver, for more information about any program that the Sheriff's Office is involved with here in Morris County. Sheriff's Officer Tracy Medwin, I want to thank you very much for being with us today and teaching us about Project Lifesaver.
Great, thank you.
Now, if you have a question about Morris County government that you would like to have answered, you can call the Morris County Freeholders Office, and that telephone number is 973-285-6010. You may also visit the county government's website at morriscountynj.gov. And when you're there, once you get to the website, why don't you sign up for our electronic newsletter, Morris Connections. When you're at the website, you can also become a County Government Facebook fan. You can follow us on Twitter. You can view this and past programs and other videos on YouTube. You can visit Morris County's document library on Scribd, and you can check out some county government photos on Flickr. I'm Joe Garifo. Thank you very much for being with us. Tune in again next week at this time, won't you, for another edition of Focus on Morris County.